Call the March 2nd, 2026 Seward County Board of County Commissioners regular meeting to order. Please stand and remove your hats for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have anyone from the ministerial? I don't see any. So I guess you bow your heads and pray. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. Thank you for the nice weather we've had. Thank you for all the people in attendance. That you bless this meeting. Be with us as we make decisions tonight. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Okay, we'll start off with citizen comments. Do we have any citizen that wants to address the commission? As you advance, state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes for your presentation unless extended by a vote of the majority of the commission.
Thank you, Chairman Helm. I'm Greg Standard, and I'm a citizen of Seward County, and I retired emergency manager from Seward County, Kansas. And there's been a lot of talk for some reason, and I thought I'd like to put a little clarity out there for people who are wondering about what was going on. And so I'm just going to say, I guess in fairly short, that in my experience over the last 26 years, the Seward County Administrator has never been a weather spotter or ever acted as a weather spotter in any situation. Seward County has had a very small emergency management department and relies on support from other county agencies to support EOC, which means Emergency Operations Center, staffing during any large incidents. The Seward County Administrator has acted as a support to response activities for at least 15 years, providing public information, interagency coordination, tracking and arranging mutual aid resources, organizing food and water for firefighters and other responders, requesting support from local heavy equipment operators, water haulers, and farmers that are offering to deliver water to the scene. She's tracked both the units deployed from anywhere and everywhere so that we know who's actually there. At the end of the day, that's important for a lot of reasons, safety primarily, but equally, if you don't know they're there, you can't bring them under your wing and utilize them to their full capability. So, interjurisdictional coordination with the cities, Kismet, Liberal. These are all things she's done, which has aided the operations of the EOC and the command because she's taking that load away from them. And she's done an excellent job of it, by the way. Information gathering, volunteer coordination, providing information to the elected officials of the counties and cities of the county. So many years ago, the county administrator was provided a radio to use for these purposes by emergency management, most recently, probably by county fire previously, but I'm a little fuzzy on that. And the intent of that was for her to be able to provide that coordination and assistance with the EOC, and that's why that took place. And it was a successful program over the years. So, ultimately, real-time communication saves lives and it saves property. If you can't alert people to changing situations, get people to respond to the area where they need to be because you can't communicate with them, you contribute to the chaos of a bad situation and you make it worse. This fact has been proven over and over for, I'm saying decades, but longer than that. Through the unnecessary loss of life and property in emergency response situations, a lack of interoperable communications costs lives and property. The fact has been so well proven that the federal government has spent billions of dollars to provide a platform that allows seamless communications between departments, agencies, government officials, and other supporting responders. States have spent tens of millions, and cities and counties, including the city of Liberal and Seward County, have spent over $1 million to provide adequate communications to protect the responders and the public. Communications are a vital part of successful emergency responses. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Anyone else? State your name and address. 5 minutes.
Carolyn Huddleston, and my address is 316 West 7th Street in Liberal, Kansas. Megan Milner, the Deputy Secretary for Juvenile and Adult Community-Based Services, provided documentation that JCAP staff are Seward County employees supposed to be following all policies and procedures of the county. The pay for staff at Cimarron Basin and JCAPS clearly hasn't been in accord with the county pay plan for some time, so why aren't these people in trouble with KDOC? The reason is that any raises they've gotten have been approved by the commission or given by the county administrator, and KDOC will defer to anything the county chooses to do regarding the pay of their employees. 2 weeks ago, Chelsea claimed that the pay of corrections staff is comparable to, quote, the market. I've checked that out by looking at the pay directors have been getting in Southwest Kansas. If you're doing 2 jobs, you'd expect to earn more than if you were doing 1 job, right? Well, in many judicial districts, one community corrections agency provides services to both adults and juveniles. Those directors are doing the jobs of both Chelsea and Kayla. Interestingly, according to information Chelsea provided, there are only 2 other judicial districts in all of Kansas out of 31 total that do it like we do here with adults under one director and juveniles under another. One of those judicial districts has its corrections programs based in Barton County, District 20, and the other is up near Topeka, District 2. Please look at the first table that I have for you. First, I identified the host county, and over in the last column, I provided information about that judicial district. In columns 2 and 3, I've put information about the pay of the county administrator and the sheriff to give you a sense of how rich that county is. Then in the 4th column, I have pay data for the corrections directors. I indicate whether the director is over just the adults or just the juveniles or both. The woman in Finney County is over not only both of those programs, but also a juvenile detention center that serves this whole region. For each director, I'm reporting his or her total pay from 2024 into the year pay records. 2025 isn't yet available online. I've also noted whether the person's pay was assigned by the county pay schedule or the OJA pay matrix, and if the latter, what pay grade had been assigned. In these 5 judicial districts, 3 directors had their pay set by the county. And in each case, the pay for the sheriff in the host county was more than what they were getting. Further, although these 3 persons were doing the jobs of both Kayla and Chelsea, that is, they were over both adult and juvenile services, and in more populated judicial districts, too, where one would expect a larger total workload for the agencies, yet not one of them had as much pay as Kayla. Both Kayla and Chelsea want the maximum, the top-of-the-line pay for the step they are on in this OJA pay matrix, and the pay grade they are taking, 50, is the same one that would be used by directors who supervise both adult and juvenile services, or those doing even more, like that lady in Garden City who is over the detention center also. Chelsea claimed that the man who is the director for Reno County Community Corrections gets his pay from the OJA pay matrix, but that isn't true. In that county, the supervision officers are on the OJA pay scale, and I was told that pay isn't excessive when compared to the county pay plan, so allowing them to use it doesn't seem like a biggie. In any case, the commissioners have retained control of the director's pay. See the email note from him documenting that. In case it was unclear, the wages for the supervision officers and other lower-level corrections staff is set by the county in Ford County and Finney County. I do not know what they are making. Now, Barton County. Notice that in Barton County, neither director got as much as Kayla. Their commission is allowing the corrections staff to use the OJA pay matrix, but the director of Central Kansas Community Corrections, the agency for adults, has been assigned a pay grade of 44 by the county, not 50. See the email from the Barton County administrator for documentation of that. I don't know for sure the pay grade of the woman over juvenile services. I thought she had 44 too, but that could be wrong. Anyway, this lady certainly would have been step E in 2024 because she was director there before Christy Mullinex became JCAP's director here. However, this woman's actual pay for 2024 was about $10,000 less than the maximum she could have asked if on pay grade 50. It might be noted that Christy Mullinex assigned herself a pay grade of 44 on the OJA pay matrix. This is some important information because if people to be using that pay matrix assign the people that are over just the adult or just the juvenile services to a pay grade 44, that leaves pay grade 50 for the directors doing both those jobs. In any case, Christie also made sure her requested pay did not exceed the cap for pay grade 35 on the county pay plan. I've included a document written by Christie that was in the commission agenda packet for May 1st, 2023, which shows that she was considering both the OJA pay matrix and the county pay plan when she set pay for herself and her staff. Now please go to the next table. The history of pay for directors of county corrections facilities is interesting. Look at the escalation between fiscal year 2022 and 2023. In any case, if Chelsea were assigned pay grade 44, she's currently overpaid by about $2,000 without even considering the county pay plan. As for Chelsea's statement that she wouldn't be able to get another raise for 4 years if she got this one, that's completely false, since she could ask for the cap pay from the fiscal year 2026 pay schedule next year, which Kayla just got, and then the cap pay from the one expected to be coming out in June of this year for fiscal year 2027. The $110,000, which Chelsea calls the current pay for step E, pay grade 50, is what they expect for fiscal year 2027, which is actually the fiscal year 2026 amounts plus 2.5%. What I'm hoping is that the commission will align with Finney County and Ford County and try to get these staff back under the county pay plan with your other employees. At this point, that would mean not approving these raises, and HR can decide what pay grade is appropriate for them on the county pay plan. Thank you. Any questions? Thank you.
Somebody should have told me a while ago.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Hillary Franco. Address is 1304 West Haven Drive. My first comment, I am an employee. I am also a citizen. My first comment is that as commissioners, when individuals are up here speaking, I think it's important that they have your full attention. Two, I also think it's important to remember, while I know how much we appreciate our constituents doing all of this research for us, that you guys have entrusted someone to hire people who actually know what their job is. It is their job to provide you with the information that you ask. And I think it's important that the information that those individuals who are hired to do that job provide you is taken as seriously as the information that's provided by the individuals doing the research. So I just think we should keep that in mind. Thank you.
Thank you. So again, please state your name and address, and you've got 5 minutes.
Okay. I'm Kathy Fitzgerald. I live at 9846 Road 9 in rural Seward County. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you guys tonight, and I'm talking on a topic that I know is not on your agenda tonight, but I know it will be sometime in the near future. So I'm here to speak against the large-scale wind projects being put too close to homes, farms, and families without enough local say. As we all know, these turbines aren't small. They're hundreds of feet tall, and they'll be here longer than any of us in this room will hold office. Once they're built, there's no taking them back. Only a few landowners get paid, but the neighbors still have to live with the noise, the lights, the shadow flicker, and the change to their surroundings for decades. That doesn't feel fair, and it causes hard feelings in communities that have lived side by side for generations. I do believe in property rights, but property rights go both ways. One landowner's decision shouldn't reduce the value or quality of life of the neighbors who didn't sign a lease. Decisions like this affect all of us, not just the ones signing leases. Our rural roads weren't built for heavy industrial traffic. Hauling turbine parts, cranes, and concrete tears up county roads, and too often those repair costs end up back on local taxpayers. We're also told this is economic development, but once construction crews leave, there are very few permanent jobs. Most of the money goes to out-of-state companies, while the county is left with the long-term impacts. That's not the kind of economic development that keeps young families here or supports our local businesses. Real economic development in Seward County should create jobs that put people to work year after year. It keeps money circulating locally and doesn't divide neighbors or strain our land and water. This is good Kansas farmland. Once you pour concrete and build roads, that ground is changed for good. These decisions should be made here, by this county, not by outside companies, state pressure, or advocacy groups that don't have to live with the consequences. You're the ones we elected to look out for us. I'm asking the Commission to at least adopt a temporary moratorium on large wind projects in Seward County. That pause would give you time to review setbacks, road use agreements, water and irrigation impacts, economic benefits, and decommissioning requirements before any permits are approved. I'm just asking you to slow down, listen to the people who live here, and make sure the rules truly protect Seward County before moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else wanting to address the commission? Again, state your name and address, please, and 5 minutes unless extended by the commission.
Okay, Scott Owens. I'm rural Kismet, 16959 Road R. I also would like to address you all on the wind farms. I just believe that we need to make sure there is enough study by all of you of the effects of these wind farms. Until you've studied infrasound and the low sounds that they make and how they can affect health of not only the people that have to live close to them, but of livestock and pets, and wildlife. Also, the flicker problems, and there's just so many issues. I know a big issue tonight is fire. If one of those was on fire on days like we had, it would be a huge mess. Like I said, I just wish that everyone would take time to study up on this. On Facebook, there's the Seward County wind opposition site, and there's a lot posted there with scientists talking about the problems. And I just see this as not a good move for our part of state and for our area. There's people that are affected. I read stories of people that thought, hey, this is going to be okay. One guy was, I raise alfalfa and sell it to people with horses and sell them small bales, and got a good business with it, have contracts with some bigger people and stuff. And he thought it was all going to work out for him. But when fiberglass and stuff was all in his bales, they were rejected, and he found himself out of business. There's just a lot of effects. People with cattle and sheep that have had increased health problems in their herds, and just people that, and animals and pets that can't sleep and have issues. And I just wish for all of you to know that you are affecting the very health and the nature of our community. I don't know what the possibilities are. I know there's been talk about taking it to a countywide vote, let the people decide whether they want them. The other options are, I'm sure you can send it back to the board and give them more recommendations to make stricter setbacks, or make, more stringent rules. And I guess I'm just saying that the future relies on you guys right here. And, I was on various sites because they're dealing with this all over our country, all over the world. And more people are coming up and saying, hey, this isn't a good thing. And just one day when I was on there, I happened upon 3 different Facebook posts in different sites, and all of them had mentioned 80% of the people within that wind farm had moved out once it was started. Now, to me, it's not an official statistic or anything, but what's the chance of 3 people in 3 parts of the country all coming up with 80%? Personally, I don't want me and my family to be ones ran off by this. I have investment in my house. Home values are shown to drop 25 to 40% once the farms go in. So I just hope you'll consider those people that are greatly affected, but really aren't getting the benefit because they don't own the property next to them. And in truth, we're standing up to huge corporations here. I mean, big people with big money. And our government, the majority of the people that are in Congress and the House have investments in the very companies that they're giving the subsidies to build these. And you hear regularly about these people that go into Congress and maybe they're worth $800,000, and in 2 years they're worth $40 million. That's because they're giving the money to these companies that are just turning around and driving up their investments. So I just pray you guys will look at all the issues involved and take time to really study it, because it's a big effect on everybody. Our wildlife, we need bigger setbacks from like our kaolin, protect our eagle populations there.
I mean, eagle in a day can fly up to 25 miles to hunt, or 20, I think it's 20, but generally it will be about 10 to 15 miles. But maybe we need bigger setbacks around our parks as well, and from our cities, and from the people that don't really have a say if one gets put on next to their house. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else that wants to address the commission? Okay, so we'll move on to item 1. I know we have one addition to the agenda.
We have 2 additions to the agenda, Commissioner Helm. One, Southwest Medical Center is here to give an update this evening. If possible, if we could put them at 3A. And then Tyler Antrim with the landfill is here to talk to you about the trash bodies for the trash trucks.
Okay, so do I have a motion to add Southwest Medical Center report as item 3A and landfill discussion on truck bodies as item 4A? Do you have a motion?
I move that we add those 2 items to the agenda.
Okay, do we have a second?
I will.
I have a motion by Commissioner Metlin, a second by Commissioner Lauterbach to add item 3A, Southwest Medical Center quarterly report, and item 4A, landfill truck bodies. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes 5-0.
Commissioner Helm, do we need to do anything with the addition to the interim emergency management position, or no?
April, can you address that?
John, are you willing to keep working with it until which time we can name a permanent, or would you rather us name an interim at this time? Okay. So yes, we do need to talk about that, and we do have a personnel executive session this evening.
We voted on that, right? Okay. So now do I have a motion to approve the...
I'm sorry, Commissioner Helm, you didn't vote yet. Did they? Did he? Okay, sorry.
That's sad when... Anyway, so do we... now do we have a motion to approve the amended agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the amended agenda.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Lauterbach, and a second by Commissioner Vasquez to approve the amended agenda. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0. Now the consent agenda. We have a motion to approve the consent agenda. Do we have a second?
I second it.
I have a motion by Commissioner Stanton and a second by Commissioner Metlin to approve the consent agenda. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes 5-0. Item 3, new employees. A lot of people here, but no new employees. Okay. Item 3A, Southwest Medical Center. Amber, do you want to present your quarterly report? Sure.
A little short. Good evening, Commissioners. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Amber Williams. I am the CEO at Southwest Medical Center. April and I have been working on getting quarterly updates brought to the Commission, and we've been somewhat unsuccessful, but we're starting a new year, and we're starting quarterly updates for the Commission. So tonight I'd like to talk about 2026, kind of what we have on our radar, things happening, things going on. And then after the meeting, I will hand out my card to all of you with my cell phone number on the back, because I'm always available if you guys have any questions or concerns between the time I'm here and I'm at work. So I'd like to start with, we've had, since COVID, we've had some years of unfavorable financials. We've been working hard to tighten that belt and try and reverse some of that negative financial impact. We decided this year, as we've started to dwindle that down, that 2026 is our year. We will have a cost reduction plan to get the financials turned back around at the hospital. During COVID, one of our biggest pain points was contract labor. We had several nurses and other medical professionals who left to take contract jobs for very large amounts of money. At one point during the peak of COVID, we had 45 contract employees in our building that were helping in nursing, radiology, lab. We just had them everywhere, but we have to have those in there in order to be able to take care of patients. So one thing we've been doing is recruiting and retention of employees. We are currently, as of today, down to 12 contract employees in the building, with a plan to continue to reduce that number down even more over the next couple of quarters to where maybe we only have a few. We've always had contract labor in the hospital forever, but that's usually one or two people that come in and cover if we have an employee out on pregnancy leave or some other health issue and we need someone to cover their 12-week shift. The board adopted a new mission statement at the end of 2025 and changed it to be the leading provider of excellent care for the communities we serve. From that, the board, led by board chair Dennis Sander, created a strategic vision plan with the number one vision being to enhance Southwest Medical Center's financial viability with an objective to create strong and consistent positive net incomes. There are a total of 7 strategies. That plan has been approved by the Board of Trustees, and it will be pushed out to the media in the near future so that the community can see what we're working on. The other thing I'd like to talk about is our Achilles heel. I think we all know what it is. It's a billing. We have a major billing problem happening up there. We use a third-party vendor. We're aware of it. We've come up with a plan to fix it, but it's going to take some time. So bear with us. But one thing we are also going to do is, in the past and to date, we do a great job marketing services we offer at the hospital and providers we have, but we don't often talk about those sticking points that the community is unhappy about. We're going to start addressing those with ways we're going to work on getting those fixed. For new hires coming on here in the near future, we did hire a new orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Ibrahim. He is coming to us from Des Moines, Iowa, and he is a spine specialist. So on top of the everyday ortho that we offer, he will also offer minimally invasive spine, which is big for us because we currently, between all of our providers that we employ, refer out about 25 patients every 2 to 3 days for spine stuff in Wichita. So hopefully we can get some of that here and keep them close to home. We also just recently signed on Heidi Riley and Tiffany Landa. Their clinic was closed over on 11th Street, and those two ladies are busy, and they have the market cornered on National Beef. Almost every National Beef employee and their family go to Tiffany and Heidi for care. So they're in a hiatus right now. Habel has closed that clinic last Thursday. We are working on a new clinic area for them just across the street on 11th Street. They will start seeing patients at the beginning of April. So a one month hiatus there. So the cost reduction plan that we came up with for 2020 2026. The admin team worked hard, especially with the accounting staff, to develop this. We've got to get tighten our belts. We've got to look at all kinds of cost savings supplies, but the big one is contract labor. And we've worked very hard also with HR to get some retention as well as some recruiting to get nurses in the door. One thing will be I just got it today, we're looking at a rate change to stay competitive with the hospitals in our area. So we'll be rolling that out. And then I was going to talk to you quickly about January 2026 is the first month we've closed for 2026 is January. We're still working on closing February right now. But cost reduction budget has us at a positive net income for the end of 2026 of $476,000. We closed January, and we had a positive net income of $186,931. It's a good start, but we have to be realistic in healthcare. There's months where operations get slow, and we know during those months we're going to have to tighten our belt, and we may see a loss, but we're striving very hard to get back on track and have a positive net income by the end of the year. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about before, if you guys have any questions, is the dynamic. I know next meeting, you guys, we have 3 current board members that are up for reappointment, as well as others that can apply. I've been at the hospital for 28 years. I've been in administration for almost 10. And I would say right now the dynamic between board member to board member and admin team member to admin team member, and then the combination of those two is the best it's been. People are able to talk freely without judgment, without yelling, difference of opinion they can talk about. And it's very refreshing to have that. It's the only way you can make good decisions is when you have a calm and cohesive board. So you guys have to make that decision, but I am very happy with the current board that we have. And before I finish, I do want to thank Ivanhoe, who is our vice chairman of the board, who came tonight to be here with me while I give my presentation, and then I will be coming every quarter to give you guys quarterly updates on stuff that's going on.
Questions? Yeah, so you said that
Sure.
currently you had 12 contract employees. What do you project that to be? Like, what's the end goal? Is it 0? Is it a couple?
The end goal would, in a perfect world, the end goal would be to have 0. I think nursing, we can probably hit that, getting down to having none, except for if we have a maternity leave or something that we have to fill. The big one we're having trouble filling is radiology. And we've had radiology employees who, even given a raise, they just don't want to do it anymore. But Kelly, our radiology director, has been going to all the colleges, all the job fairs, and trying to recruit some in. So that we're pushing them hard on that. And as we keep going, if they don't reduce their contract labor, they will have to be budget neutral and find something else to give up if they're going to keep contract labor. So that's part of the budget reduction plan.
I want to thank you and Ivanhoe and even Greg for coming.
Yeah.
I'm not been able to express this to you myself, but I think it's a huge thanks that the hospital was able to recruit Heidi and Tiffany. That was going to be a huge loss to the community.
It was going to be a huge loss, and it was going to be very hard for all of the current providers, physicians, and mid-levels to try to take on that huge access to care that they have. Because literally we've been trying to infiltrate that market of national beef to try and get some of them to come. They're so dedicated to Heidi and Tiffany, and I understand why. They're great nurse practitioners. But the best thing we could do, because they were kind of given notice that they were closing up without very short notice to try and get anything. And so it's a very big asset that we're bringing them on. So
thank you all for being successful in that.
Thank you. So
Thanks.
Also, hospital finance and running of a hospital is an industry that is very, very complex. So if any of you guys want to sit down with me and the rest of the admin team, if you would like, and we can talk about hospital operations and finance, just reach out to me and we'll make it happen.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item 4 is the retention of sheriff deputies. This is proposing an outline for strategic reorganization aimed at maximizing the sheriff's office's operational and fiscal efficiency. The sheriff's office has faced significant retention challenges due to non-competitive compensation. To date, 4 deputies have resigned specifically for higher paying opportunities, and an additional 4 are currently in the application or interview process with Kansas Highway Patrol and other agencies. Our current entry-level wage of $20 per hour is no longer market competitive, creating a persistent barrier to maintaining a full staff. The plan that was presented is a budget neutral, as the salary adjustments are funded entirely through the strategic elimination of 2 vacant deputy positions from the current workforce. So, y'all, you've read this. Does anyone have any questions of Gene?
So this is the permanent elimination of those 2 positions.
Yes, sir.
Which leaves you with how many deputies?
18. Which is doable. When I started, we had 4. So we're doing good.
What happened?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So, anybody want to make a motion?
Just a question in advance, Commissioner Helm. This would be a departure from what the commission had stated previously. So is it going to be moving forward if different departments want to eliminate positions, we will consider reapportioning those monies to fewer positions in order to provide salary raises? I think we should be very clear if we're setting a precedent here or if we're not. Or we're doing something because the sheriff is having a very serious retention problem.
As I recall, that we weren't eliminating pay raises, but any pay raise had to come before the commission. That was my understanding of what we were accomplishing.
So I think we should just state we are or are not setting a precedent doing things this way for the sheriff's department.
Well, this is again, it's my understanding that the commission was approving pay raises. So we weren't stopping pay raises. We were.
No, that's correct. Anything had to come before the commission.
I don't know.
I think I agree with you. It's not a pay raise, and it's not an effect to his budget. He's reduced. Yeah. I think.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing to do.
No, I think I agree with you. It's a tough thing to do, and but yeah, I don't think we're setting a precedent of a pay raise. But
well, so in your opinion, what would be the pros and cons of setting this precedent for other people to do?
I'm not saying there is a pro or a con. We should just be clear because we have representatives of 20-some departments here.
Yeah,
and so
I got you, but. You brought it up, so I wasn't sure if you maybe had an opinion on it, if you had pros, if you had cons.
No, I fully understand what the sheriff is asking to do here.
I gotcha. Yeah. Just wanted to tread lightly before because
we've made cuts to the budget, and this is Sheriff Ward's way of retaining employees and staying within the budget. So
I mean, he's doing what he's got to do.
Yeah, that's
with limited resources.
I'll make the motion to approve what he's asking for.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. I have a
Second.
motion by Commissioner Lauterbach, a second by Commissioner Vasquez to approve the restructured pay scale for the Seward County Sheriff Department. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Move to item 4A. Tyler.
Good evening, Commissioners. In May of 25, on the first meeting that we had that year, Brock came in and got some trash body bids. Trucks are finally getting to the point where they're at completion. They forgot to add a top door so we're not blowing trash all over when we're running on the highway. So we asked to get that put in, which is going to bring the total cost from what was originally approved from $124,300 to $126,000 even.
$1,700.
$1,700 a piece, so $3,400. It's probably the cheapest request I'll ever bring to you.
Do we have a motion to add the top door?
Top door, yeah.
Top door to the two trash bodies?
There's two trash bodies.
But at $1,700, so it would be
$3,400.
Be an increase of $3,400.
So we will need a special check on it. It was already voted on in the original one, but their station's already got that set up for us.
And to include a special check.
Yeah.
So do we have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, we have a second?
I second it.
I have a motion by Commissioner Stanton, a second by Commissioner Metland to approve the additional $1,700 for two top doors and two truck bodies, and for Stacia County Clerk to cut into check for $3,400. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes 5-0.
All right, thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Tyler. We'll keep you to that. Item number 5 is the fiscal year 2027 comprehensive plan grant application for JCAPS. That's to review and approve the JCAPS fiscal year 2027 comprehensive plan grant application. The JCAPS director prepared the 2027 Juvenile Corrections Comprehensive Plan for Department of Corrections guidelines and administrative rules. This document showcases JCAPS programs and services provided to the youth who enter the criminal justice system throughout the 26th Judicial District. This budget documentation provides how the allocated $815,231.25 from Kansas Department of Corrections will be budgeted, consisting of actual cost anticipated for the FY 2027 in the various funds, including but not limited to salaries and benefits and various agency costs. All the monies allocated must be accounted for in a line items per KDOC. JCAPS is not able to provide a budget below those means. Any unused funds will remain in the JCAPS account at Seward County, and that amount will be reduced the next fiscal year allocated money. There's no financial impact on Seward County or throughout the 26th Judicial District, which is 6 counties, as I recall. This has been approved by the agency director. Recommendation is for the board to approve the fiscal year 2027 comprehensive plan grant application for submission to the Kansas Department of Corrections. And this one does not have to be signed by the other 5 counties. Okay. Cimarron Basin does, but yours doesn't. Okay. Anyone have any questions of Kelsey? Okay.
I have one question.
Shoot.
I don't know that it matters or not, but from the stuff that Dr. Huddleston gave us. Who does set does HR set the pay range? Do you set it? Did administration set it? The 44, 50?
So that's kind of a hard question to answer, if I'm going to be honest with you. So prior to fiscal year 2023, when we did have a massive pay increase, which is when KDOC stated that we could go to OJA pay to match market rates, which would be court services. That's the pay court services under. Prior to that, we were within the county guidelines as far as the range of pay. After that, my predecessor, she did keep us as in line with the county pay rate, along with the OJA, so that we could be within market value. So, to my knowledge, I can only speak to what I have done in the last two, because this is not my second budget I have written in. I'm the one that has to write in what the salaries are. I would like to say, yes, what Dr. Huddleston did say, we are county employees. We are state-funded county employees, but we are county employees. I do have to bring this before the commission each year for you guys to approve it. So I'm not the one that's able to actually make that, to approve that. Due to that, that is why I bring this before you guys each and every year, so that way you guys can approve or deny what our salaries would be. Prior to this year, there had not been any questions. We have not been in line with the sheriff's department since fiscal year 23. I know that that is a concern that has been brought up. We have not been in line with them since fiscal year 23. To get us back in line with that, we would have to go back to fiscal year 23's pay rates. So to answer your question, I write in what the salary would be, and you guys approve it or deny it. And I did it off of the 2024 pay matrix for OJA. I would also like to clarify what Dr. Huddleston said. She is correct. There is new pay rates, pay matrices coming out that I could choose to try to budget for and bring before you guys to approve or deny, which would be completely up to you. The money that's allocated to us has been the same amount allocated to us for multiple years. They have not increased the allocations, given what is the talks going on at the state. They're not going, it does not look like they're going to be allocating us any additional money. As I stated at the last meeting, I did not elect to move to 2026 pay matrix because I do not have it within my budget to provide the services to the youth and move up to the pay matrix. That is my concern. I will always provide the services to the youth first before I ever try to move up to a pay matrix that is unsustainable. Given that information, given what I do know, what is happening at the state currently, doesn't look like we will be allocated any more money, so I do not foresee me asking for a different pay matrix in the future. However, I will say that she is correct. I do have the ability to try to ask for that, and it would be up to you guys to approve or deny that.
It seemed to me, reviewing some of the documents, and there's a lot of paper here, that compared to other districts, we're pegged at the top end of these pay scales where other people aren't. Is there a reason for that? Because we are, in fact, overseeing fewer people.
Miss, you are correct. I cannot speak to other districts.
Well, we have the information.
Yeah, you asked for me to compare it, and so I did, and I am aware, and she was also right. Dr. Huddleston was right. Majority of the districts are dual. Most of those directors are dual. They oversee both juvenile and adult. That's why I did reach out to just the juvenile ones. I do want to say that in the 20th, I was mistaken in what I wrote. The director of the juvenile corrections in the 20th, she is at pay grade 44. She is at state step E in the pay matrix 2026. And I did have a personal conversation with her, as lots of emails have been forwarded to me. And in that, she stated, I explained to her what's going on, and she said she's at the 44 pay matrix because the adult side is at the 44 grade. Sorry, the director is at the 44 grade. Kayla is my counterpart. She is at the 50 grade, so the director of the 20th of Juvenile Services suggested I should be at the 50th since my adult director is at the 50th, so that way we stay in line. However, that is not my decision to make. That is your guys' decision to make on how that would look. I do know, for as far as my juvenile supervision officers, what I do know is other jurisdictions have intake-only workers, have program facilitator-specific jobs, and juvenile supervision officers. My officers do all three. I have one intake-specific who's part-time. Other than that, my officers are doing all three positions in one. So I will advocate for everything my officers do. Because they are doing three jobs in one. It might be at a lower population than Northeast Kansas, but I will still advocate for it. They are there every day, doing their job every day.
Well, Barton County isn't Northeast Kansas.
Oh, they're not. But they do have separate jobs.
And just a follow-up question from what you said, your total allocation from the state is unlikely to change.
Correct.
So if all of these salaries are going up and being pegged at the max, does that mean what's actually going to happen is those salaries go up and the services to the people that are intended to be served by this will be reduced?
I can see how that looks that way. What I would then do is look for additional grants to supplement that pay and that pay difference, as I'm doing right now, looking for a grant, supplemental grants to start the early intervention program. There's plenty of grants out there. I just have to put in the work to look.
So if your state allocation is just X, whatever that number is, you're going to continue your services at the same dollar level they're at and forego the pay raises.
Yes, if I cannot find additional supplemental grant to offset the salary, you're correct. I will always provide the services before I ever give a raise.
Okay. Is that in your proposal somewhere? It's been 2 weeks since I read it, but I didn't see that.
That I would provide services before the raise?
Yeah.
No, but I did state it at the last meeting verbally. But it is not in my proposal. But I mean, that is the truth. I will always provide the services to the youth within the district before I ever give a raise. My staff knows that. I've been very transparent with them the entire time. They know that there is new pay matrices coming out, and they also are aware that I elected to not go to that for that exact reason.
Thank you.
You also carry over part of your budget every year, correct?
Yes. So every year, so just to be fully transparent, I do have to budget for family health insurance for all of my staff, even those that do not take family health insurance. I still have to budget for it just in case they may move up and accept those benefits. I have to have the money already for it. Not all of my staff are on family health benefits. And so a lot of times that money I don't use because they haven't used it. So that money is left over. I think last year it was around $120,000, give or take. I don't have the exact number in front of me. So what happened this year, so from fiscal year 25 to fiscal year 26, the money that I did not use out of my budget from fiscal year 25 stayed in my JCAPS account here at the county. And then KDOC just withheld that same amount as allocations this around. So I was, instead of the full 815, I was sure however much that much was. But it does stay in our account. So yeah, any unused funds stays here. We do have a carryover budget. That's all off of supervision fees. That is not grant money. That is money that the youth, when they pay their supervision fees, that goes into our carryover budget. I rarely use that. I use that mostly for food, for meetings, trainings, various other needs that I need that I can't use grant funds for. The reason why I do not use that is I also use that as a savings account. So if I do happen to run out of grant money and I need to provide services to the youth, I have over $100,000 in a savings account that I can use to make sure the youth are still getting their services. The reason why I don't like to use that is because at the end of the day, if the youth don't pay their services, supervision fee, that's not guaranteed money. So I like to make sure I have that. That's a last resort.
Any questions? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve what she's asking for.
One more. Can I make another comment?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm Ms. Janko's program. I've never heard anything bad. I mean, great job from everything I've heard. I mean, if the county's not giving raises, the sheriff had to do some stuff to adjust his budget to retain his people. Not that I don't want you to get more money. That's not what I want everybody to make all they can, for sure. I know we're not paying it, but I mean, I just don't feel right about you taking a raise, even though we're not paying it. The taxpayer's still paying it. I mean, it's nothing against you guys, I guess. I don't feel right about it. That's what I'm saying, I guess. And hopefully the county we get this budget, we get back on track, and next year is a different story. I mean, that's how I feel, I guess. I mean, and I heard nothing but great things about both of your programs. It's nothing to do with that, and no matter which scale we use, I don't know that's important. I asked the question earlier, I just didn't know how that went, but that's my thoughts, I guess, for the commission, where I'm at. I mean, I don't know how the motion looks, if I made that motion, or if you don't want to, if you make the motion minus the salary.
John, so your proposal would be that we would leave the salaries at the previous year's level.
I think that's the right thing.
And adjust the grant proposal
the way the rest of the
reflect
counties,
that.
the way the rest of the counties going, I think that's the right thing to do in my opinion.
Well, so the alternative is another host county.
We do have that ability to ask for a different host county if they would accept us.
Right.
We do have that ability. We have 6 counties we could choose from. I do not want to do that. Majority of the youth we supervise are here in Seward County. That would
Right.
create another barrier, an unnecessary barrier, in my opinion. But it is an option that we are able to.
It makes no sense to
pursue
do that, but that is. Okay.
Yeah.
The comment I've got is, you say that the money that is coming to you from the state, if you do not spend it, it's going to be rolled over into the next year.
Yes.
And all it would do is just keep creating a bigger padded sum there that you've got. Is that correct?
So each allocation year, if I were to not, whatever amount I don't use, the next year they withhold those funds.
So they just don't levy for that part of it.
Correct. So every year they tell me it's $815,000. Whatever I don't use from the previous year, they just redact that off the $815,000. It's been like that for some years now, because we do have to budget for all of the benefits, for all staff to have benefits. I highly respect where everybody's coming from. I do understand with everything that is going on within the county, and I'm not taking away from that at all. I do respect that. I'm just presenting this to you. I'm advocating for my team. My team does 3 jobs in one. I understand it does not look like I do as much as the rest of Southwest Kansas directors. If it is my salary that is the issue compared to my team's salary, I don't need that pay raise. Do I feel that I've earned it? I do.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you don't deserve the money. That's not what I'm saying. But I just see with what Sheriff Ward did now his what your deputy sheriff or what's the next one? He makes the same as you now, right? Within $1,000. So within $700. I mean, I think we've got some stuff to figure out. Not that I don't think you deserve the money. We're just at the optics and all that. Just I don't feel good.
I'm just advocating for my staff. My predecessor at year 1, JSOs were making $60,000. Right now they're at 58. My year 1 they would be up to 64. So it is an additional amount compared to what the predecessor had year 1 at. I would at least ask that my year 1 match what year 1 did for the previous years.
That might be fair.
As for my salary, I mean, I understand what's happening. I will say though, next year, hopefully everything in the county is lined out. So then I will be bringing, just to let you guys know, I will be bringing forward another salary proposal that will include raises.
That's fair.
April, were you going to say something before?
I don't, since Kayla and Chelsea do report to me, I just want it said that I completely understand what you're saying, Commissioner Metlin. However, the county has not kept up their compensation plan. It hasn't been updated since 2017, so we're almost 10 years from the point that it was done. And unfortunately, OJA has kept up with theirs. And so I feel like we're kind of taking them backwards because the county hasn't done due diligence and making sure that.
I agree with that. There's something in here I saw. I mean, the OJA, I think it was OJA in 21, 22. I mean, I think you might have said it. They alluded to it. They basically doubled everything all the way up the line. So it's the county needs reevaluated for sure. And hopefully Angela's working on that.
And we've worked on that. Angela's worked on that. But again, we don't know. As she presented that to you at the last meeting, she just needs to know where you guys want to go with it because there's no budget to change what people are making. So.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve it. For a second.
Adding the salary at current rate in the motion?
Well, that wasn't in his
That wasn't in his motion.
There's only been a motion, there's not been a second.
That's
correct.
Right. So if it dies for lack of a second, then we have another motion.
Commissioner Metlin, you want to present a different motion?
Now I'm in another quandary here. So if there are truly people that are, under you, I guess I don't, that need that maybe aren't at a competitive salary. Is that something we need to look at, or just no raises across the board? I don't, no pay raises, I guess. I make a motion to accept the grant money minus pay raises for this year. Is that an acceptable motion?
So return the pay line items to the prior years.
Return the pay line items to the prior year. Yeah, that's my motion. Is that clear?
Clear as mud. We'll make it clear. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Metlin, a second by Commissioner Stanton to approve the fiscal year 2027 comprehensive plan grant application less the employee pay raises. Is that what you guys? All in favor, raise your eye. Is there any more comments, questions? Okay, all in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed?
Can I abstain? Like not vote?
Yeah, so we have 4 in favor and 1 abstention. Thank you for all the effort you put into this.
May I say one additional thing? I do have to have this assigned and approved and sent to KDOC by March 15th. I am aware the next commission meeting is not until March 16th. I also have to get it back because all that salary difference, I now have to put it back into line items such as purchasing a new vehicle or furniture. I have to take it before my board again and before you guys again. Is there any way that I could get the board and my advisory board and all of you guys at a special meeting prior to March 15th?
Do you need all of our signatures or just the chairman?
I just need the chairman's.
Then we can add a motion to I will make a motion to give Chairman Helm the authority to sign this once you've made, on behalf of the commission, once you've made the changes that have been discussed.
Okay.
Do we have a second?
I second.
A motion by Commissioner Stanton, a second by Commissioner Metland to allow the chairman to sign the revised 2027 comprehensive plan grant application.
Thank you,
All in
gentlemen.
favor? Motion passes 5-0. Item 6 is resolution 2026-07, establishing a temporary burn ban on all open burning within Seward County. The purpose is to implement a temporary ban on open burning throughout Seward County due to current environmental conditions, ensuring that Charter Resolution 16 remains in full force and effect. Current weather conditions have resulted in a state of severe drought. The board finds that open burning under these conditions is adverse to the safety of residents and taxpayers. Similar bans have been implemented in the past during high-peak, high-risk periods to prevent wildfires. Recommendation is to adopt Resolution 2026-07, establishing a temporary burn ban effective until our first meeting in April, which would be April 6, 2026, and allow the chairman to sign this resolution. Any, yes, I was going to, yeah.
If I can add just something so the general public understands what you're doing, an open burn ban, correct me if I'm wrong, means no fires except for a propane grill. If you're doing a little pit in your backyard, that is against your resolution also, or your burn ban. So we got to make sure that's correct. Is that right? That's correct.
Who?
Sorry.
There's a Class A misdemeanor in here. Who's actually going to enforce that? Who's going to collect that? Who's writing the tickets? And on we go.
You betcha. So me and Interim Chief Steckel have talked about that. What happens is if we find someone that's violated that burn ban, then the sheriff's office will give that person a notice to appear, and then they come and appear in front of you guys, and we give them we tell you what has happened, the scenario of the incident, and then you guys decide what the punishment is for that. Is that right?
So it kind of
I was
affects both of
corrected.
you, so both of you can stand at the podium if you need
I
to.
apologize. So apparently that was that's what I knew, and then Mr. Steckel went and talked to Russell, and apparently that's different.
The other Steckel talked to us.
Sorry.
Captain Steckel from the Sheriff's Office. Okay, so they can fill out a affidavit of what happened and submit it to the district court, and then it's up to the district court to determine what's going to happen. In my understanding, if it's been a problem, for instance, the guy's been breaking the regulations like 5 times in a row, that he might help us out there. Now, my understanding is that if something happened and somebody's property burned and insurance was filed and they were taken care of, he might not do anything. But my understanding is if there was no insurance to help out and that guy needs punished, that he'd probably help us out there. So to me, it sounds like a case-by-case basis. At the very least, it does get that publicity out there for people that this is a time to be careful.
But we do have the sheriff writing citations and not firemen, right?
It's not citations anymore. Now it's an affidavit.
Affidavit, okay.
Sorry.
So for my department,
word.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a fire investigator. Like, so the only one in my department that has any type of law enforcement authority is me.
Yeah.
So we worked it out that he kind of has the staff, and that's their expertise anyways. So we'll work together on that.
But it's like what he said. Anything but like a propane grill. If you've got an open pit burning.
Yes, and I don't have a copy of the up-to-date one. The one that I think Hillary started drafting had examples of what you're not supposed to be doing. Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure the public were understanding.
Right.
That's exactly what it means.
And this is county only, not city, just to clarify.
Cities in the county, sir.
So that is included?
Yes.
Okay. Just want everybody to be clear on that.
No, you're right.
And the another thing to be aware of would be. Okay, are you sure? I printed off some logs for our control burns. Historically, we haven't even issued very many out in March, anyways, and that's because we follow the state guidelines, and most of the time you can't fit in those guidelines in March. To be aware of, I'm not sure if any farmers are going to be upset that there's a burn ban. Again, it is what it is. Like, we got to protect the community at large. My only way around that is, I guess, they could ask for a special permit from the county commission, but they'd have to come in for that, and we could look at each special circumstance. But I'd say, really, like, I have the past few years printed off, and there's only been 3 or 4 every year that we could even issue a burn permit that the conditions were right anyway. So I think it's from our it's like for our stats, like, it is too windy, even if we weren't doing a burn ban and the humidity's too low, that you can't do it anyways.
But it'll keep people from their trash barrels and all that stuff that they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions? Do we have a motion?
I will make the motion to approve this as stated.
Let me sign it.
Thought that you did.
No.
Sorry.
Okay, so do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Lauterbach, a second by Commissioner Vasquez to approve the resolution 2026-07, which is temporary burn ban, and to allow me to sign that document. All in favor? Raise your right hand. Motion passes 5-0. Okay. Item 7 is to approve the 2025 encumbrances. You have a list of those. In front of you. There's $366,980.32 of encumbrances from 2025. Have a motion?
I make a motion. We approve the 2025 encumbrances in the amount of $366,980.32 as presented to the commission at this meeting.
I second that.
Okay. So we have a motion by Commissioner Stanton, a second by Mr. Metlin to approve the 2025 encumbrances in the amount of $366,980.32. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes 5-0. Okay. Item number 8, executive session.
We do have a legal. Forrest, I'm not sure how long you think you need.
Forrest, do you know how long we need for legal executive session?
No more than 15 minutes should be fine.
Okay, so 15 minutes.
I move to recess into executive session for consultation with our attorney, which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship under KSA 75-4319B2 for 15 minutes to include the commissioners, April, Forrest, Brock. Anybody else? For 15 minutes, so it's
And the subject will be Forrest.
oh, Forrest will be legal.
Legal.
Okay, purposes legal. You need more than that?
We need a statement of the reason.
Yeah, why?
You can just say to discuss matters protected by attorney-client privilege.
To discuss matters protected by attorney-client privilege. So it'll be 6:51 plus 15, 6 or 7:06.
7:06. Do we have a second? Second. A motion by Commissioner Benton, a second by Commissioner Stanton to go into executive session for legal matters. We will resume at 7:06. The subject is
Attorney-client privilege.
attorney-client privilege legal matters. Okay, we'll be back at 7:06.
Did we vote?
Oh, motion.
I made the motion.
Well, we have the motion, but we didn't vote.
We didn't vote. Okay, we're back out of executive session. No action. We need another executive session for personnel for how long?
I would say 15 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. I move to recess in executive session for discussion of personnel matters of non-elected personnel under KSA 75-4319B1 for 15 minutes to include the commissioners, Forrest, April, Brock, and Brady.
Braden Steckel.
Brady or Braden?
Legal name's Braden. Call me Brady if I want.
I heard him call you both, so I was okay. And Mr. Steckel, how about that? Or Chief Steckel. For
7:23.
15 minutes, we'll be back at 7:23.
Do we have a second?
I will.
Have a motion to go in executive session for personnel matters. We'll come back at 7:23. To include the commission, Brock, April, and interim Chief Steckel. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes 5-0.
Who's second?
long? 10 minutes? I don't know. Well, we can do his efforts, I guess. So do you want to go 10 minutes? Make them wants to go 10 minutes. Then we'll. So we're back from executive session. We will have action, but we will wait till after the last executive session. We can do that, can't we? Okay. Forrest is on mute, so that's okay. We'll assume it's okay. Okay, so 10 minutes.
I move that we recess into executive session for discussion of personnel matters of non-elected personnel under KSA 75-4319B1 for 10 minutes to include all of the commission, April, Brock, Brady, Forrest. For 10 minutes, subject matter will be the discussion of personnel matters.
Back to
It'll be 7:25, so 7:35.
Okay. Do we have a second? We have a motion by Commissioner Metland, a second by.
I did it.
Mr. Stanton to go in executive session for 10 minutes for personnel matters. We'll be back at 7:35. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
ordered the pizza yet?
Okay, we're back out of executive session. Do we have any action? Well, we know we do. Do we have first action?
On the raise.
Huh?
Or not the raise.
Yeah. Can you make the motion for us, April, please? And then we can say yes first and second.
Business out of the executive session is to leave Brady Steckel as the interim fire chief, but you will raise his salary to $82,000 annually to reflect the job duties that he's going to be doing. And at this time, he is also willing to be the interim emergency manager so that we can get the position posted, but he does have resources to use so that he's not responsible for that during another fire incident.
Do we have a motion for that?
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
I second it.
So we have a motion by Commissioner Lauterbach and a second by Commissioner Metlin to increase the salary of the interim fire chief to $82,000 per year, and also name him as the interim emergency management director. All in favor? Raise your right hand. Motion passes 5-0. Okay. Now the next motion. Excuse you.
I think that's it. Oh,
I thought we had two motions.
adjourn.
No, we did it in one. All right. Okay. Administrative comments.
I really have nothing else. We've been trying to wrap up fire detail and those sort of things. So,
okay. Commission comments. I don't remember where I started. Commissioner Stanton. I think I started with High Road.
You did the last time. I had some comments, but I'm going to have to thank Hillary for mentioning them earlier today. And that is just to make sure that when different citizens are speaking to everybody, that we do all pay attention to them, because they take their time to come and speak to us. And I know sometimes we can get distracted with other things, but it's a very valid point. Thank you. That's it.
Me?
Yes, sir.
I think that what I would like to address is the debriefing we had earlier today, how everyone was civil and, very cooperative and look to improve what we do as a county and operate. And I just would like to thank you guys for all your insight and everything you did.
John?
I don't think I have any more comments.
Ira?
Just to kind of echo what Clay was saying, I think we did a really good job in the debrief, and I'm happy the way that it went, and I'm excited to see the different things that we talked about get implemented, and us continuing to improve ourselves to better serve the community. So.
I too am very pleased at the way it went. Hard lessons you learn in life, you can't change them. All you can do is learn from your mistakes and not let them happen again. So all we can do is look up and know we're going to improve things. So do we have any suggestion cards? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? Second. We have a motion by Commissioner Stanton, a second by Commissioner Vasquez to adjourn. All in favor, raise your right hand. We are adjourned. Thank you.